because at the end of the day, we saw at max what this team could do with Randall. This is the best it can do with Randall. This is not, there's no other ceiling that Randall is going to hit. He is not going to all of a sudden become a superstar that we want him to become in the playoffs, because we know we know all his weaknesses. They're going to make him go right. They're going to make him do all the things that, we hate watching him, see him do. Now, to me, here's the thing with me. Is RJ inconsistent? Yes, I will totally agree. He is totally inconsistent. But my thing is, and the one thing that I wanted to get with JD was, it's not, I don't think he was going to be an all-star. I never thought he was going to be a superstar.
Okay.
I didn't think of him as a superstar, especially when everyone knew coming out of that draft was a 2-star draft. Everyone said it was either if you were lucky to get Zion, you were lucky to get Ja Morant. Everyone else is kind of pretty much, within that same stratosphere. They're kind of players that can be good pros, but we don't know yet. What ended up happening with RJ was the draft status of being number 3 overall. Now, did the issue that I had with the Knicks management, especially when they were developing RJ, was they never treated him as a number 3 overall pick. They never actually gave him the time like you're seeing with Houston give with Green, like you're seeing with, Memphis giving, a job. They never ever gave him the keys to the franchise and said, hey, this is your team. You be the main ball handler. You try to go out there and, do and work on your game. They never did that. So what did they do? They got Julius Randle. They got Markieff Morris. They
already have Randle.
They got all these other pieces, and they built. And then when they built the team around Tibbs' system, you ended up treating him like a mid-rotational piece. And I'm a huge person in development. If you have a person with superstar talent, but if you're not developing them correctly, and you're not actually giving them the space to operate within those first few years, which was supposed to be the development years, then essentially you're going to pretty much put a role on him, which was he was happy to be a starter. He was happy to be a rotational piece that was being a good team player, and et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes, and I get it, he did it. And the problem is he didn't. He wasn't Kobe. He wasn't a guy that was going to go out there and say, give me the ball.
So you went on for a bit here. So RJ could have improved his shot that entire time. There wasn't a single coach that went to him during the offseason and said, don't shoot. He could have improved his shooting. Now, we talk about the difference between Randall and RJ. But during the offseason, RJ could have improved his shot. He needed to improve his shot. Now, when you talk about Randall, Randall has continually improved his game. After his injury last year, when he wasn't able to physically do the work, he went in his hotel room and he sat and he saw. I let you talk for a while. Please let me finish. I let you go on for quite a bit. Randall went and saw. This is a change in his game this year. This is a change in his game this year that has made him a lot more efficient, and this is why I believe he will be better in the playoffs and why you go with him over RJ. If you look at what he is doing this year, he has continually posted up in the paint, as opposed to last year used to be 12 to 20 feet out. He has also taken advantage of pick and rolls with big men, where he has the advantage on the outside against guys like Embiid, guys like Giannis, where he can use his speed and his power to get himself baskets. He is shooting almost all of his baskets, or the majority of them, at the hoop, where he is a mismatch. Randall's a big, powerful guy. He has taken the ball to the hoop, which will give him an advantage come playoff time, because he's not shooting those, and we hated them all, the 12 to 20-foot jump shots that were not good. He also is getting the ball out of his hands on double teams much quicker this year. You look at the numbers. I read an article on it in The Athletic yesterday. These are numbers. I'm not making this up. I'm not just, I think this. He's getting the ball out of his hands on double teams, which we all hated. He has gone ahead and changed his game for him to be more successful in the playoffs. RJ Barrett has never changed his or improved his game to be a better third scorer. You could say what you want about whether they never gave him the chance. His role was the third player on this team. That's what it was, and he has never made himself the better third player. He is also not nearly as good defensively as OG.
He was never the third best player on this Knicks team?
Brunson's better, Randall's better, absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing: if you're developing someone to be the third player, so then that you can't complain that person doesn't evolve into being a number 1 or 2 option if you're developing him to be the third player. Has always been
I'm
my
complaining
main
about his
point.
consistency. Consistency has nothing to do with your role. DiVincenzo's a consistent 3-point shooter. Your game consistency doesn't matter what role you have.
RJ Barrett's game was not his 3-point shot. It was.
But you developed it. It was never Randall's spot, right? Randall wasn't a 3-point shooter at all. Now he's a 37% 3-point shooter. He has improved his game. Brunson has become a better 3-point shooter.
He was a 3-point shooter at Kentucky.
Wait, okay, guys, I'm a little confused.
Not in the NBA. 3 points closer, not in the NBA. He was never a 3-point shooter. He was low 30%. He was low 30% before he joined the Knicks. Low 30%.
But he was still hitting threes.
But low 30%. But low 30% is not the same as high 30%. He's a much markedly better 3-point shooter now than he was early in his career.
See, what you're banking on, Hot Take, is you're banking on Julius Randle being that improvement and being that second piece in the start.
He has shown it.
What I'm banking on is the evidence that is, which is he shrinks in the big time moments. He's not the 24-10-4 guy. He is a 17-7 guy when it actually matters. And
so is RJ Barrett, by the way.
And at the end of the day, the top coaches, they get paid a lot of money. The Spoelstras, the Mike Malones, they all get paid top money to stop Randall. And if Nate McMillan, a middle-of-the-round coach, was able to find a defensive system that people still use to this day that still fluster him, it's just not gonna work out. Like this.
So we won the first round, and then we lost to the best team. We lost to the team that went to the championship last year, and that is a horrible thing. When, by the way, he was injured, and we took it to Game 6 without IQ, who, by the way, IQ played horrible in the playoffs prior to his injury, and RJ Barrett absolutely was a no-show in Game 6 when he was healthy, and we needed him as our second scorer. He was an absolute no-show. And we lost to the eventual Eastern Conference champions in 6 games, which, by the way, Boston was a no-show against them, and the Knicks brought them to 6 games.
But who was our second leading scorer in the playoffs last year, Rob?
Yeah, it was Barrett, and Randall was hurt. He had surgery after the playoffs.
That's the end of the story right there. It was Barrett. Barrett was our second leading scorer.
So you take. Okay, so Michael Jordan was the second scorer last year. It doesn't matter that he wasn't playing; he just still wasn't. I mean, Randall was hurt, man. Randall was hurt. He had surgery right afterwards. He was supposed to be out a month, and he was out 2 weeks.
This is the problem that I have with.
And then he got re-injured during the playoffs.
This is the problem I have with narrative, JD. This is the problem I have with narratives, because we saw this with the Melo injury, where he had that separated shoulder with the Roy Hibbert. And the Knicks decided to do a surgery to see if there was structural damage within that shoulder.
Okay.
And what did people say after we heard that surgery? Oh, Melo was hurt, so that was the reason we lost to the Pacers.
No, you lost because Carmelo sucks.
The Pacers were a better team.
And Carmelo's
were a better team.
But I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth.
The issue is that now we're going to go out there and give Randall this excuse where he had the same sprained ankle as the same sprained ankle as Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler leads his team to the finals while Julius Randle is still being inefficient and still not being even a positive impact. He was a negative impact.
But you know what? But Jose, hey guys, here's one thing I will say, and I've been ripping Rob too on this, is he brings up a good point. That, you know what, the past is the past. And what if he turns it, he has improved his game. He doesn't give a shit about one thing he said that I really like about him. He said, I don't care about the All-Star game. I'm concerned about wins and playoffs. So this could be, and Rob is that's what Rob is like. And I like that. That he's saying that this could be the year where things change, Jose. Why can't it be? This could be the year where Randall shows up. If he shows up, then we got a different narrative. Correct.
And real quick, and this is something that I pointed out to JD the other day. They've replaced 3/5 of their starting lineup in the last 2 months, and it's made a drastic difference. Hartenstein is light years better than Mitchell Robinson offense, a much better passer. DiVincenzo was shooting and a better fit for that as a shooting guard for that offense completely. And OG Anunoby is a much better fit for this offense. There is now spacing, and that is one problem Randall and Brunson both had in the playoffs. Is you have Mitchell Robinson. Centers don't have to respect his offensive game at all. RJ Barrett, they can leave him in the